Welcome to your first lessons for grammar for this year. These 2 weeks we're going to be looking at word groups that express complete thoughts, which of course is a definition for the sentence. In each English sentence there are two essential parts, the subject and the predicate. The subject is the part of the sentence about which something is being said. The flower bloomed. Bob painted. The girls on the team were all good students. In each of these examples, the subject part is highlighted in red, and it tells you the part of the sentence about what something is being said. The flower, Bob, the girls on the team. The predicate part of the sentence is the part which says something about the subject. So, Bill told everyone about the wreck. Mary sobbed. Boo-hoo. She plays the piano well. Now in each of these sentences, the predicate part of the sentence is highlighted in red. Now if I said to you, what is the most important word in the subject, I'm asking you for the simple subject. Let's look at this example. The 4 new students arrived early. The simple subject would be students. My complete subject would be that most important word and all the words that modify it, which in this sentence would be the 4 new students. The predicate, if I were looking at simple predicate, and we're talking about the verb as being the most important word. A second example, Sarah's sisters took us bowling yesterday. The simple predicate is took, which is your verb. The complete predicate is the verb and all of its modifiers, and that would be, for this sentence, took us bowling yesterday. Now, we're going to apply this to sentence diagramming, and we have to do this every week in our DGP. The first and most basic thing we do is divide the subject part of the sentence from the predicate part of the sentence. And the way we do that on a horizontal line is we put a vertical line that divides them. And notice how it extends past your horizontal line, and that's really important because it indicates that what you're dividing is the subject from the predicate part of the sentence. The subject will be on the left side, the predicate will be on the right side. Now, look at 4 sentences that we just mentioned. Notice that everything on the left side of the screen prior to the vertical dividing line is our subject, our complete subject. Everything on the right side of the screen is the complete predicate. Notice the shortest either can be is 1 word, but there is no rule about how long a complete subject or a complete predicate would be. And you need to remember that when we actually get into the diagramming. Now let's return to the idea of the complete sentence. As just a quick review of what we did a couple minutes ago, a complete sentence is a group of words that expresses a complete thought. It makes sense because it's a whole idea, not just one part of an idea. Now, there's special words if it's missing part of that idea. The first is sentence fragment. It's part of a sentence. The root word frag, which you'll have a couple weeks in the future in vocabulary, means to break or to shatter. Fragment means a part. So if we have a sentence fragment, it's when an idea is missing from the sentence. So part of your sentence is going to bomb out because it's missing part of it, part of the thought. You could be missing a subject, you could be missing a verb, or you could be missing or have an incomplete verb. Let's look at a missing subject first now. I'm going to give you 2 sets of sentences. You tell me which sentence bombs out. Okay. Sean skated down the sidewalk or down the sidewalk. Which gives you the complete thought? Right, Sean skated down the sidewalk. So the sentence fragment is down the sidewalk. It doesn't express a complete thought because it's missing its subject. The second example is the alarm sounded late last night or late last night. The one that's wrong is late last night because it's missing a subject. So if you do not have a subject in your sentence, you have a sentence fragment. Then there are times when you have incomplete verbs. The sentence is trying to convey a meaning, but for some reason it's just not quite connecting. And a lot of times it's because you're missing your verb or you're missing a part of the verb string. So let's look at this example. John working extra hard on his hook shot lately. Huh? What's that supposed to mean? Okay, John is obviously our subject. Working is our verb. John working extra hard on his hook shot lately. It doesn't make sense. So we know it's a fragment. So then we have to analyze what is actually missing. And when we look at this, we realize it's the auxiliary verb, or you could say the helping verb. We're missing part of the verb string. In this case, it's the words has been. So if I added them, John has been working extra hard on his hook shot lately, I can understand that sentence. Another example of an incomplete verb. This one's a little bit different. Okay, spending hours every day after school and on weekends. Let's see. Spending could be my verb, but then I'm missing a subject. If I take spending as a participle, which is a verb acting as a noun, spending what hours? So then I would be missing a verb. And in fact, in this sentence, that's what we're missing. Spending is working as a participle, and it's the subject of my sentence. And so I'm missing a verb completely, because spending is my subject, spending what hours? So we're missing a whole verb. And it's said to have missing a subject-verb relationship because it has no verb. So that would be an a sentence fragment. Then we have not a complete thought. A lot of times we have a lot of words and a lot of information, but it's not a complete thought. So after the coach encouraged him so much last year, and he seemed to improve with each passing game. Wow, that's a lot of information. But after the coach encouraged him and he was improving, what happened? We don't know. And in this case, it's not because we're missing our subject or verb. Let's look at this. We have two. We have coach encouraged, subject verb, and he seemed. So we have a compound subject and a compound verb within this clause. So why is it not a complete thought? And it's because of the addition of the subordinating conjunction after, which makes this whole clause dependent on another condition. And the other condition is not in there. So we have no independent clause to stand alone. Therefore, it's a sentence fragment. The last thing we want to think about when we're looking at sentence fragment is strings of prepositions that are put together without a subject and a verb. These also make fragments. So let's look at this. Immediately after the founding of the college and during those early years as a predominant educational institution in American Midwest. Okay, it's a bomb. It doesn't work. Look at our prepositions we have after the founding of the college during those early years as a predominant educational institution in the Midwest. So we have a whole string of prepositions, but we have no subject and no verb. So it's a sentence fragment. So these are the the three ways that we are trying to identify sentence fragments, and if you add prepositional phrases, it would be 4. But it's either missing a subject, it's missing a verb, or it has an incomplete verb, are our main 3. Going on to run-on sentences, a run-on sentence is two or more sentences written incorrectly as one. The sentences are confusing because we don't know where one idea ends and the next begins. And there are three forms of run-ons. We have a fused sentence, a comma splice, and the use of a conjunction without a comma preceding it. So let's look at this. A fused sentence. A fused sentence is two sentences together, two complete thoughts that are combined into one sentence without any punctuation. Example, a motorcycle turned into an alley. It skidded on the gravel. We have first thought, second thought. No punctuation between. So the ways we can fix that, the first would be to put right here, we would do a period at the end of alley and capitalize it. The second would be to put a comma after alley and put a coordinating conjunction. First way we have run-on sentences is fused sentences. The second one is a comma splice, is where we have two complete thoughts together, but they're written as one sentence and they're joined only with a comma. So let's look at this same example. A motorcycle turned into an alley. It skidded on the gravel. Notice we have only a comma between them. This is called a comma splice. And in order to fix this, you have to do the same things. You're going to make this a period and make the it capitalized. You could put a semicolon in there, or you could put a conjunction with a comma preceding the conjunction. The last way we have run-on sentences is coordinating conjunctions with missing commas, where we have two sentences that are joined by a coordinating conjunction but we have no comma. It also makes a run-on sentence. Same sentence, a motorcycle turned into the alley and it skidded on the gravel. And of course the way we fix this is you would put your comma preceding your conjunction. Now, one last thing I want to caution you about with a run-on is if you have a run-on sentence and you know it's a run-on sentence and you think, oh, I got to fix that run-on sentence. The one thing I want you to be very careful that you do not do is to turn your run-on sentence into a comma splice run-on sentence by simply adding a comma. Remember, the way this has to be fixed is you can make two independent sentences, capitalize the second. You could do a comma and a coordinating conjunction, or something we'll talk about in the future is you can put in a semicolon. Okay, so now you're going to do your activity in Canvas, submit it, correct your answers, and bring your grades and your notes in on Monday, and I'll see you then. Did a great job. Bye for now.